Hey, it's Adams here on behalf of Apex Trader Funding, and I'm here back with Trader Austin, who is again another funded paid trader with Apex Trader Funding on yet another payout. We had him on, I don't know, a month or two ago, and had a great conversation with him. And another payout, another interview. Had an opportunity to really connect and get an update. So Austin, we talked a little bit about trading before we started the interview, and I think it's important to address the fact that trading has ups and downs, right?
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
ups and downs.
So you know what? This is a little out of the ordinary because we usually try to talk about the highlights and things like that, but I think a little dose of reality and really addressing, if you're comfortable talking about this, why don't we jump into some of this?
Oh, for sure. I think it's the most important part of day trading.
You made a comment, and I've actually made the same comment many times on some of these videos, but you commented that one of the skills that a trader has to learn is how to lose, and that actually is a skill. So I'm going to let you kind of roll with this and share what you want to share. What's happened over the course of the last week or so?
Yeah, so Monday this week lost a significant portion of my PA accounts just due to not losing well. I heard somebody say one time that making money trading is easy, it's keeping it that's the hard thing.
Sure.
And I actually heard that on Sunday, the day before Monday, where I blew the account. So obviously I didn't take it to heart, and the world kind of showed me, taught me that lesson. But yeah, I think when you lose, it's very easy to get mad and confused as to why it happened, because the markets they don't always follow your strategy, because they don't do what you want them to do. They do what they're going to do. When you lose one time, the worst thing to do is sit there and think, I have to get this all back. And that's exactly what I did multiple times over. Of course, like I'm sure a lot of people could probably relate to. I ended up losing a pretty significant amount of money.
You equated it before we started talking into how many days worth of profits you gave back.
Yeah, about 10 days.
10 days. See,
Yeah.
and I think this is really where that skill of losing has to come into play, because look, if you've traded for any period of time, you have to understand and you have to know by now that no trading strategy is going to win every trade. No trading strategy is going to win every day. Now, you were on a pretty solid streak, right?
Yeah, 24 days, all green. Pretty long time. I started feeling like it could never stop.
And so not only do we have to learn how to lose, but we have to learn how to win in a manner that doesn't change the way that we approach the markets. Now, look, yes, it's not a fun conversation to have about losing money, about losing profits, but in the grand scheme of things, look, you're on a 24-day win streak and you gave back 10 days. We watch the market do this every single day. It's on a rally, it's on a rally, it's on a rally, and it does have to give some of that back before it comes back up. I'm not saying that it has to happen for every trader. When we start to see this and experience this in our own world, I think it's just a great reminder of how important that psychology is when it comes to, well, managing how you handle the excessive wins. 24 in a row is pretty insane. I don't think I've ever done that. And handling the bigger losses, giving back 10 days of that. Now, in the grand scheme of things, Austin, like I said, just in the last 24 days, you're clearly still green. Did you ever trade your own funds? I can't remember from our first interview.
No, I did not. I spent like about a year bouncing between different prop firms and paper trading things.
Okay. And I shared with you a little of my story of trading real funds, but I'm inclined to say that there is a significant difference to losing this amount based on pulling money out of your savings account and trading that versus trading a funded account that you've built a nice little buffer on. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure.
So since this took place, we've had a few more trading days since then. How have the last few days been?
Oh, back to normal. I mean, average for the last 3 days is almost identical to the average of the first 24. The markets have been a little more clear the last couple days compared to Monday. I think Monday was a little, especially early in the session, was a little unpredictable, I guess.
Monday sucked. I'm not going to lie. I didn't like Monday either, for being honest.
Monday wasn't fun.
That is the nature of the beast. And look, I think the answer is pretty obvious, and I think everybody who's watching this is going to expect this. But was there a lesson learned in this moment that you think that you'll be able to take moving forward and make better decisions?
Yeah, and it's just kind of like what I was saying earlier, like learning the skill of losing is I don't think you can learn that skill without losing, and sometimes without losing really big. Like if I had just lost a little bit or lost on the first trade and then got it back the one after that, like I've had sometimes, like I was hoping would happen, I don't think I
Right.
would have learned anything. I would have just then thought, whoo, that was a good close one, almost lost whatever on the first trade. But it's important. I think I needed to have that day. It was a good contrast to a 24-day green streak to have one day wipe out almost half of it. Realized that I did that and that it was my fault because I could have lost or I was going to lose on Monday no matter what. Like my decision making wasn't good. The market was unclear. It's probably a losing day, but I couldn't accept that, which didn't get me a green day. It got me the biggest red day I could ever even imagine, other than blowing the account, I'm sure. So just a good lesson to learn.
I'm going to make a bold statement here that a lot of people are not going to like, but I think that you actually losing that day was more beneficial to you in the long run. Like I've had a bad day and I've made really bad trades, sized up, took very discretionary trades, and I've had it go my way.
Mm-hmm.
And I refer to that as being rewarded for bad behavior. And if anybody who's watching this as a parent knows, if you reward your kids for bad behavior, what are they going to do?
Do it
They're
more.
gonna they're gonna repeat the bad behavior. And I've realized this and I've tried to internalize this because I know that for me, for my growth, this has been a big realization that I'm better served blowing my accounts when I go rogue than I am coming out of it. And because this is a long game. There is no short-term solution when it comes to trading. I mean, this is something that you got to do every day. And not every, you don't have to do this every day, but you've got to do this continual growth, slow and steady every day in order to be a truly successful trader. The wild swings are once in a blue moon, and usually they don't go in your favor. So slow and steady is a pretty solid way to make sure that you're doing what you need to do to get what you want. Sometimes we have to look at the other side of trading and realize that it's not the end of the world. And well, thank goodness it was in a funded account, right?
Yeah, thank God I was in a funded account, and no, it's not the end of the world. Everyone has it. They don't have to be that big, but that's on you it was on me to not make the losing day that big. And that's a good lesson I needed to take away from that, is not make a bad situation worse.
Do you think you'll repeat it?
Inevitably at some scale. I hope the scale will be smaller,
The
but
trick question.
I'm a person. For
Yeah.
sure I'll make that same mistake. And I think that's all it is, being like a profitable trader or whatever. It's like a phrase that's thrown around a lot, is
Yeah.
still losing, but minimizing your losses to a realistic degree. And a realistic level of losses is not zero. Like almost, I can't imagine anybody who never has a day in the negative. But if your days in the positive are so much more plentiful than the negative days, then, which it could have been that 24 days in a row, and then you lose what, 2 days worth, would have been a lot better than 10.
As much as it sucks and hurts to think about that, that is the stark reality. And sometimes you got to touch the hot stove if you really want to make sure you don't touch it again.
Yep, that's true.
All right, man. Always looking on the bright side. Austin, this was fun. I appreciate your candor. I appreciate you, sharing the less comfortable side of things. But, at the end of the day, really what we're all about is helping make traders better. And really what it boils down to is the one thing that will always make a trader better is time. And I think that that's what funding really provides for most traders. If you take 10 grand out of your savings account and lose it, you're probably done in 90 days. Whereas take half of that, you can expand that on evaluations and PAs for years, potentially. Yeah. But I think ultimately that's one of the biggest benefits, is this process gives us time to work through this, where it's painful, but it could have been a lot more painful under other circumstances. So I appreciate it, man. I want to catch back up here in a little bit and hear some much better news for the next one as we continue down this road of seeking out those profits, man. Austin, thanks for sharing with us today. I do definitely appreciate it. I look forward to catching up with you soon and seeing some new good stuff.
Sounds good.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you soon.